What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. In this one, we got some injury updates on Rod Moore, Will Johnson, and more, plus JJ McCarthy breaking records at Michigan. Also, everything that Jim Harbaugh and Mike Hart said to the media about the win over East Carolina in the upcoming game against UNLV. And we're also going to be talking about how some Michigan commits performed over the weekend, including Jaden Davis. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. First, want to start by talking about what Jim Harbaugh told the media today as he had his press conference today. And he first said a lot of positives with the win. He said came out pretty darn healthy too. Great start. He also talked about his time watching the game as he actually watched it with Sharon Moore. He said he invited me over. I said, hey, let's watch the game together. And I said his wife had made them some sandwiches, and I said it was good, excellent. So definitely was probably a cool experience for both him and Sharon Moore. Now Sharon Moore will be back for Michigan against UNLV as the offensive coordinator. Jim Harbaugh does have to sit out 2 more games for his 3-game suspension. Now he did talk about the offense. He said it ended up being 31-31. 31 passes, 31 runs, and he said that Kurt Campbell did a great job. He was obviously the offensive coordinator for the game because Sharon Moore was suspended for the first game of the season. And talking about JJ McCarthy, he said JJ was magnificent. That was 26 for 30. That's the highest percentage, 87.6 in the history of Michigan football for anybody that has thrown 30 or more passes. He said it was tremendous. So JJ McCarthy breaking some records here at Michigan, as his 87% completion is a Michigan football record for a passer who threw 30 or more passes. I said it in my post-game video and I'll say it again. JJ McCarthy might have had one of the best performances in the season opener by a Michigan quarterback. I mean, his throws that he was making was just spectacular. Put it right where they needed to be, and he just had an outstanding game. Can't wait to see more of it against UNLV this week. And hey, he's breaking records now here at Michigan. He also talked about Roman Wilson being the top target for JJ McCarthy. He said, I thought Roman was outstanding. He's been outstanding all fall camp. He's in great shape. And I also said Cornelius Johnson the same. Both of them had over 70 yards receiving in the game, and Roman Wilson with 3 touchdowns. And then he also updated us on some injury updates on Will Johnson and Rod Moore on when he expects them to return from their minor injuries. He said, I think there's an opportunity this week, but we'll just have to see. Jim Harbaugh obviously doesn't like talking about injuries too much. Now we did see Makari Page play against East Carolina, so that was huge, and we should potentially see Will Johnson and Rod Moore get some playing time against UNLV, and hopefully Tyler Morris can also get some playing time. Darius Clemens is also a little banged up. Darius Clemens saw 1 snap and was limping off to the sideline, but they are just supposed to be minor injuries for all of these guys. And I think it was a couple weeks ago, but Jim Harbaugh did say that Tyler Morris should be able to go by week 2, possibly week 1. We didn't see him in week 1, so hopefully he gets some playing time in week 2. And then he also talked about seeing players wearing free Harbaugh shirts, highlighted obviously by JJ McCarthy. He said, I felt the love from them just doing them. I could see it in our players. I could see it in our coaches. He said, I want them to do them, do you. And I said, I saw them having fun, saw them executing and playing good, and yeah, I felt the love from them and the Michigan faithful. Jim Harbaugh also got his corny comments in, as he said the job of a head coach on game day is to be the guardian of victory. Then he also added that there's no offense, there's no defense, there's a we-fence. So Jim Harbaugh being Jim Harbaugh there. That's what Jim Harbaugh had to say. Mike Hart also talked to the media, as obviously he will be the second half interim head coach for Michigan on Saturday, and Jay Harbaugh will be the interim head coach for the first half. But talking to the media, Mike Hart said, I think they did a great job on defense, talking about East Carolina. He said they were built to stop the run. They wanted to stop the run, and they did do a pretty good job stopping Michigan. He did say you can always get better, right? He said those are the things you see on film. This guy is one block away, one guy away. This guy cuts this guy off. The receiver gets the safety instead of blocking the corner. He said there's so many things that you can improve on when you watch the film, and he said we left a lot of yards out there. Just talking about Michigan's offense in the rushing game, as obviously it did struggle a little bit, but at the end of the day, he said it's pretty simple math. Do what you have to do to win, and Michigan was able to pass the ball against East Carolina as they were stacking the box a lot, and their whole game plan was just to stop Michigan's run game, not let them run it down their throats. Now, Miles Hinton, the offensive line transfer from Stanford, he said that during the game, he wasn't satisfied with his performance. He said his feet were all over the place. He needed to settle in more mentally. He said, I didn't play how I practiced. So hopefully we can see the offensive line doing a lot better against UNLV. But Mike Hart also talking about the rushing game, saying our job as coaches is to find ways to get those guys touches and get them the ball however you can. And also speaking about being an interim head coach for Michigan for the second half, he said, I love Michigan, I love this place, and it means a lot to be entrusted with this opportunity. Coach Harbaugh is a phenomenal coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He does nothing but win. So for him to entrust me with the coordinators, it just means a lot. So that's what Mike Hart, Miles Hinton, and Jim Harbaugh had to say to the media. We had some injury updates and also how Jim Harbaugh's game day experience was with Sharon Moore. And obviously the two things coming out of the game is Michigan's offensive line and running game has to be better, and the kicking game was a little inconsistent as well with James Turner, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. Those are the two concerns. Everything else was pretty dang good. But the next thing I want to talk about is how some Michigan commits performed over the weekend with their high school football teams. First off, Jaden Davis had another good game. He completed 19 of his 26 passes for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns with, again, 0 interceptions in a 42-7 win over Charlotte Catholic High School. On the season, he is 62 of 73, 966 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions in just 3 games. He is balling out right now for Providence Day High School. Jordan Marshall carried the ball 15 times for 113 yards. However, his team lost 38-28. Channing Goodwin had 6 catches for 64 yards as him and Jaden Davis both beat Charlotte Catholic again 42-7. And then Brady Prescorn, he hauled in 6 catches for over 70 yards in a 35-0 win over Rochester Adams. Hogan Hansen had a touchdown in a 48-27 loss to Portland Central Catholic. And yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about those stats from some Michigan commits, and also everything on what Jim Harbaugh and Mike Hart said. But other than that, that is going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.